Hey guys, your old pal Brian, and that was my monkey, Miss Ellie. Well, she looks like a canine, but she is an actual monkey. And I'd like to introduce you to my vlog. I started out in 2007 or 8, as a middle-aged father whose son was moving on to his life. And looking for ways to fill my day. My job as a wildlife officer is my hobby. That's it. And as such, I wanted to fill my time. And I discovered dudes from all over the world via the interwebs. And we all became fast friends on helicopters. The Hobby King HK 450 specifically. And we started using what they called 808, real 808 video cameras to actually diagnose our problems. And it became really a great way of having a way to visit with each other. It's funny, some of the early videos are just dead silent because we were worried. Leave it! We're worried about security somehow. And didn't like to talk, and then I'm pretty sure I broke the ice on that. And we really had a great time seeing how each other lived. So with that said, I started filming every flight, or videoing every flight. The young'uns make fun of you using the term filming. And it's kind of neat because I look back over it now, because I never really kept a personal diary in my life, and I have almost an eidetic memory for events, but nonetheless, you can't remember everything. And you look back over the videos and you were kind of seeing what you were doing that day.
11.8 volts.
I'd like to personally thank Mark, the full-time RV fella, Mark McClelland, perhaps. Mutsky, my Australian buddy, who I think has a E-Flight Convergence. That maniac.
11.6 volts.
Up there flying when it's just dead cold. I'd sit in the house and cry. But you Alaskans, you successful Alaskans, are a hearty people. And even WJH, who's a ham radio, Ellie, come. Ellie. Ellie Bain, come. Although reluctant to give his ham radio license because he is so reviled on the web, he doesn't want anybody showing up. Thank you for posting as well. Tahoed, and others who I
11.4 volts.
Didn't commit to memory but wrote down, and I'll actually cite you here directly. Yeah, thanks for your input. It's going to be Sophie's choice on airplanes. I'm going to have room for about maybe 4 UMX. I have a B-17, a Hoglet, of which I've yet to mate, and I'll mate that actually tomorrow morning. An Icon A5, which has got to come with me, and a Habu, one of the old UMX Russian, is it MiG-29? Definitely going to carry my Tundra and its associated floats. And as of this morning, I forget who it was, but it reminded me that I had an actual E-Flight Convergence. The story with that is I hated it when I first flew it. I flew it line of sight first
2 volts.
and tested it, and then I flew it FPV after that, and getting 5 minutes out of it or 4 minutes out of it, I hated it, and I realized at some point in time that you can actually fly it slowly. I was getting like 6 or so minutes out of it, and I know 2 extra minutes, but that's
11.2 volts.
that made it more viable plane. So really thoroughly enjoy flying it, and then it started eating. The damn thing bit me. In short, it bit me 3 times. It would fire up on its own,
11.1 volts.
and I burn up 4 or so $35 receivers on it. And finally, I gave it its own power source, a UBEC, and I thought that cured it, but it didn't.
11.1 volts.
What I ended up having to do was I used a different type piece of telemetry to give me voltage than I'd been using before, and I created an issue with, I don't know, perhaps ground looping.
11 volts.
And that joker burned up the ground line on the way to the UBEC. So what I did was I went back to an old style voltage telemetry. I went back to an old style voltage telemetry and was very careful in how I plugged it in.
11 volts.
And I think that eliminated my problem. However, I went to fly it a month or so ago to test it, and I think I was on the wrong FPV channel, and I got it out about 100 yards and crashed it. Luckily, the little bastard's hardy, so I tested it walking around my neighborhood, and my FPV picture is great. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to test it again and make certain that I'm on the right channel. It was clear until you got out about 100 yards and then lost. Now there's my
10.8 volts.
there's my one bald eagle. I think. Yeah, I don't know if his mate or her mate made it. We have a bald eagle locally. Well, that's it, and that's me, and that's my introduction, and I really appreciate your input when it comes to traveling. The logistics of fitting this stuff in, I'd kind of figured out. My wife's given me below the bed, and then I'm going to use above my
10.9 volts.
generator. There's about a 18-inch space there, and I can get up to, I think, perhaps 3 UMX boxes in there. And even I have a washer and dryer in my rig. I think I can stack, well, I know I can stack about 4 or 5 UMX on top of that washer and dryer.
10.6 volts.
But I've got to figure out whether I want to go that far. And I think the answer is actually no. So I'm going to use 2 full-size, for lack of better terms, planes, a meter a piece, which is probably going to be the Tundra, and if the convergence will work, I'm going to teach myself to fly that damn thing line of sight too, by the way.
Volts.
And then a couple of 2 or 3 ultra micros, and then I've got 2 landing. I've got 2 quads, a racing quad, which I love, and a cruising quad, which I
5
tolerate.
volts. Low battery.
Landing. Ooh, I'm gonna come around.
Low battery.
So
Battery critical.
uh-oh. Let's not do that. Landing.
Battery critical. 10.7 volts.
So
Low battery.
no, the lake is up from all the hurricanes and rain. I don't want to knock my prop around any more than I need to. Well, that's me, and that's my rig, and my faithful one follower, Fergie. I hope you're doing well and maybe got some flying in over the weekend. This is almost a closed vlog. It's actually public, but I really don't advertise it. I